If you're a parent, you absolutely know the feeling. You pour your heart, your time, your money, everything into raising your kids, but somehow the results just don't seem to match the effort. It's exhausting, right? And it can be so frustrating. Well, in this explainer, we're going to unpack exactly why this happens. We're going to introduce a really powerful new way of thinking that can honestly change everything. So let's get into what's really going on here.
Okay, so here's the central, completely baffling problem of modern parenting. We are investing more time, more money, and more emotional energy than any generation in history. I mean, we are laser focused on mental health, on communication, on being supportive. And yet, we're facing this undeniable youth mental health crisis. So, what gives? What went wrong?
And it's not just the kids who are struggling under all this pressure. Get this, a staggering 57% of parents now report experiencing burnout. And that isn't just being tired, it's a deep emotional exhaustion, feeling disconnected from your own kids, and this crushing sense that you're just not doing a good enough job.
Now, this slide tells the whole story, doesn't it? This is what we're calling the paradox of progress. You see that white line climbing up? That's us. All our effort, our time, our investment just going up and up since the 90s. And that red line heading down? That's our kids' mental health. It just perfectly illustrates the core problem. All our best intentions and our hardest work seem to be backfiring.
So, and this is so important to hear, this is not about not loving your kids enough or not trying hard enough. It's a fundamental mismatch between what we're trying to do and how we're doing it. It's about a failure to see the bigger picture. We need a whole new framework, a new way of seeing. And that new framework? It's called systems thinking.
So, yeah, this huge disconnect, this paradox where more effort is somehow leading to worse results, that's the stage for everything we're about to talk about. And to solve this paradox, we have to completely shift our perspective. We have to stop seeing our family as just a collection of different people and start seeing it for what it truly is, a complex, deeply interconnected system.
So, what on earth is a system? It sounds complicated, but it's actually a pretty simple and really profound idea. It's just a group of parts that are all linked together, and when they interact, they create stuff, behaviors, patterns, a whole family culture that you could never, ever predict just by looking at one person on their own. Let's make this real. For a family, the interconnected parts are pretty obvious. You, your kids, but it also includes things like school, their friends, even the culture we live in. All these parts are constantly interacting. A parent's stress about work, a child starting a new school, these things send ripples through the entire system. And out of these interactions, you get these emergent behaviors. Things like your family's unique vibe or its ability to bounce back from a tough time. And the thing is, over time, these patterns stick around. This map is such a great way to visualize it. You see the child there in the middle, but they're directly connected to and influenced by all these other pieces of their life. You can't just tweak one without affecting all the others. When we only focus on the child, we're completely missing how the whole system is shaping them. And this right here is exactly why so much of the parenting advice out there just doesn't work. It tells you to fix one thing, right? Set a screen time limit here, use a new discipline trick there. But that's like trying to fix a giant traffic jam by yelling at one car. Systems thinking makes us ask way better questions, like, what patterns are keeping this behavior going? Or how is our whole family system contributing to this problem? Okay, so if the family is a system, how do we actually make things better without just working harder and burning out? The answer is all about finding the right places to push. The secret, the real game changer, is to find what are called high leverage points. I want you to picture trying to move a giant boulder. You could push with all your might and get absolutely nowhere, or you could find the perfect spot to stick a small lever and move the whole thing with just a tiny bit of effort. That's exactly what we're looking for in our families. And this right here, this is our treasure map for finding those levers. It was developed by the brilliant Donella Meadows. Down at the bottom, with the least amount of power, are parameters. You know, the numbers and rules we obsess over. As we move up, we get to feedback loops and system structure. And then, at the very top, with the most power to change everything, mental models. The deep beliefs that run the whole show. This is where the real magic happens. So let me make this crystal clear. Low leverage points are things like tweaking the screen time rules by 15 minutes or changing bedtime. They're easy to mess with, but they don't really change the game. High leverage points, that's about shifting your entire mindset, like moving your goal from protecting your child to preparing them for the world, or just completely redefining what success even means for your family. A small change up here, it cascades down and changes everything. All right, let's see what this looks like in the real world. We're going to look at a few common systems, or loops, that show up in parenting all the time. Oh man, this one is a classic. It's a vicious cycle that so many of us fall into with the absolute best intentions. So a parent sees a challenge and, wanting to help, they just remove it. But the child never gets to develop the skills to handle that challenge, so their capability actually goes down. This makes the next problem seem even bigger, which makes the parent see the child as more fragile, leading them to remove even more obstacles. You see, the loop just gets stronger and stronger, actively destroying the very resilience we want our kids to have. Now, the reason that overprotection loop is so damaging is because kids are biologically anti-fragile. It's an amazing concept from a thinker named Nassim Taleb. So, something that's fragile, it breaks under stress. Something resilient, it withstands stress. But something anti-fragile, it actually gets stronger from being exposed to stressors and challenges. Think about an immune system getting stronger after fighting germs, or a muscle growing after lifting weights. Our kids need challenges to grow. Okay, now let's talk about another critical part of the family system we almost always forget about: us, the parents. This cascade shows that our well-being isn't some luxury. It is the fundamental infrastructure for the entire family. If a parent's own resources, like sleep, friendships, and support, are running on empty, their nervous system gets dysregulated. They're less patient, less present, and because a child's nervous system literally tunes into their parents, this directly impacts that child's sense of safety and their ability to thrive. And this is how we can finally let go of all that guilt so many of us carry. Instead of that nagging thought, taking time for myself is so selfish, this system's reframe is, my own regulation is the foundation of our family's regulation. It's not an indulgence, it is a non-negotiable requirement for the system to actually work well. A burned out parent doesn't just feel stressed, they transmit that stress through the whole system. So, with all this in mind, what's the key takeaway here? Well, it's all about adopting a new mindset for how we approach this whole parenting thing, day in and day out. A core superpower of a systems thinking parent is seeing the hidden, long-term effects of their actions. This matrix shows a few common examples. The visible, immediate result of constantly entertaining your kid is, hey, you get some peace and quiet. But the hidden, systemic cost? Your child never learns how to manage their own boredom. We have to train ourselves to look past the immediate fix and see the long-term pattern we're creating. So here it is. This is the new game plan, the new hierarchy for where to put your energy. Number one, start at the top with your mental models. Ask yourself, is my main goal to protect my child or to prepare them? Then number two, design the structure of your family life to support that goal. Create real opportunities for responsibility. Third, pay attention to the feedback loops. Actively interrupt the bad ones and pour gas on the good ones. And only then, last of all, should you worry about the small stuff, the parameters like screen time. Stop wasting your precious energy where it matters least. At the end of the day, system syncing teaches us that character isn't something you can just install in a child like an app. It's an emergent property. It grows, gradually, out of the thousands of tiny interactions within the system you design and cultivate every single day. So the final question isn't, what's the one right thing to do? It's something much more powerful. Is the system I'm designing today likely to produce the kind of person I hope my child will become tomorrow?